All right, so once again, I want to thank everyone for taking the time to be part of this um, live session because I realized that it was short notice. I didn't have the opportunity to inform you guys as early as I would have on a good day. So sorry about that, but I just felt a need to do it before the week runs out, and it has been kind of a busy week for me. So I was always forgetting to put it on the platform that I wanted us to talk within the week. But I feel it's an important um, session, and I just felt like the earlier we talk about it, the better. And as I said, what I want to talk about today is, but it circles around clarity and confusion. Clarity and confusion, and these are words and opposites we are talking about here. And for me, I think for a number of you that might know me very well, clarity is my passion. I realize that it's one key thing that people need in life: clarity of mind, clarity of action, clarity of purpose. It's what people need. More people have it than they would want to admit. Um, more people are clear, but this thing of confusion always comes in. Um, and confusion a lot of times is rooted in fear. Clarity is established in courage. Confusion is rooted in fear. And so when you're confused about anything, it's not really about a lack of understanding. It is more about a lack of courage. So when we talk about confusion, because there is fear there. I remember when I was younger, I didn't like mathematics at all. I didn't like the subject matter of mathematics. I didn't like it, the subject itself. And so every time I was doing math, in fact, it was so bad that my parents had to get me a lesson teacher. Do you understand? And it was always frustrating learning. And it wasn't because math was particularly hard. It was because I went in with a preconceived notion that it was hard, and it made me fearful. So every time I was being taught math, before I even started, I was already tense. And when your mind is tense, it is not open to accepting and analyzing information. So math was very, very hard for me to understand then because I was scared. And it could have been what a teacher said early in primary school that made me scared. You understand? You know how they give this special treatment to maths as a subject in school, where they just say we're having exams tomorrow and we're having maths, so you have to go and read well. Remember, tomorrow is maths day. So then, that special treatment you're giving to it makes it extra big in people's mind, and then it makes you fearful. So I was very scared of maths, but I had one lesson teacher that kind of broke that fear. And it was not even a lesson. It was not a lesson teacher. It was a teacher at school, a maths teacher at school. And the first day he came, that was the first thing he taught us. He didn't even teach us any math. The first thing just he spent his period talking about was how easy math was. He didn't teach anything, just told us math is easy. It's the easiest subject in the world. Just take it from me, it's easier than any other thing. And after that period, it kind of just loosened something in my mind. And every time I came to class, he always gave the introduction: math is easy. It's easy. You guys just believe that it's easy, it's not hard. And after a while, I started getting very good at math. You understand? I started getting very good at math. In fact, when I did my WAEC, I think it was GCE then. I had an A3 in math. It was like I would never imagine I would have an A in math. Not talk about an A at all. I wouldn't imagine I have a C itself. But I realized it was fear. And once I started conquering that fear, I started getting more clarity about it. So today I'm going to talk about clarity. And first thing I want you to know is that clarity is rooted in courage. Courage to do. Confusion is rooted in fear. Now, all of us seek clarity. Every single one of us. And it makes the world complicated because we all want the world to be easy. Why can't I just know what I'm meant to do with my life? Why is it not just so straightforward that I just know what I'm meant to do with my life? Why can't I just know who I'm meant to be with, who I'm meant to date? Why can't I just know what I'm meant to eat, where I'm meant to live, what job I'm meant to take? Why is it not just clear? Why do I have to go through this? Am I making the right decision? Is this good for me? Am I making a big mistake? Am I destroying my life? You understand? Clarity, the illusion, the the illusion that things are not clear is our biggest torment in life. So we always feel like I could be destroying my own life with this decision I'm making. So it stops us from moving forward. So we all seek clarity. We all want to know why we are here. A time comes in your life when you start to ask, what is this life about, self? What is this life about? Why am I here? What am I meant to do on this? What am I meant to achieve? I remember when I lost my friend in school, who for those of you that might have listened to my podcast, I talk about him, and it's the reason why I got into graphic design. And he was the best student in our class. He had a 4.4 something GPA, missed first class by just a few marks. And he died immediately, not immediately, in the middle of NYSC. Middle of NYSC, he died, 24 years old. I think that thing really made me question what life was about. Because I was like 24 years old, died. He was the best student, never got to use his certificate. What's the use in this life? Why? What? Why? Why did he come to earth? I remember another period in my life where I really asked um why, what's life about, was a long time, early 90s. I was I was still a young teenager, just entering my teenage years. And my mom gave birth to a baby, and my baby sister. So I have two sisters, an older sister, a younger sister. And then it was us for a while, and then my mom gave birth to one more child. And we were so excited about having this baby. It was the first time we had a baby in the house. Between me and my older sister, there's 1 year. Between me and my younger sister, 2 years. So, but this baby came years after. So we had never ever had a baby in the house. So we were so excited about having this baby. And every day I'll be at school and I'll just be thinking about going back to carry the baby. I love the way the baby smelled. I love the way the baby looked. I just loved everything about it. And everybody was so excited. Me, my sisters, the whole house was so excited about this baby. But after a while, we kind of realized that, we were young then. Me and my sister were very young, but we realized that they were going to the hospital with her a lot. They kept on going to the hospital with her, back and forth. We will come home some days and we won't see her. I'm like, where is she now? Where is Timmy now? Timmy's not here. And we'll be so distraught when she come back from the hospital and stuff. And one day they went to the hospital and they came back and they didn't come back with her. I remember she was like 3 months old. It was 3 months, I think so. If it was over 3 months, maybe a week, some weeks over 3 months. And they didn't come back with her again. And we're confused. And like, why did she come back? And they said she had died. And I said, I couldn't imagine. And like, how can a 3-month-old baby die? You understand? How can a 3-month-old baby die? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Why should a 3-month-old baby die? This baby has not done anything, has not um has not done anything with her life. She has not even started talking, not even started, walking. You understand? I'm like, what has she done? So what's the use of the life? Why did she come? I think, why did she come? If she was going to come and die after 3 months, I mean, what was the use? Why were we allowed to have 3 months of happiness and it was just snatched away? So that made me really, really confused, you understand, about what life was about. So clarity is something we seek a lot. The biggest place where we seek clarity is with decision about progress in our lives. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. Decisions about progress in our lives, about whether we are doing the right thing or not, whether we are in the right jobs or not. You know, that's where it begins to niggle when you are in your early 20s, mid 20s, late 20s, 30s. You begin to think, am I doing the right thing? Am I in the right job? Should I leave this job and stuff like that? Should I go and do something else? Because you begin to discover more about yourself. Because clarity is rooted in identity. The more you know about yourself, the more you accept about yourself, the clearer things are. Identity. If you don't have a sense of identity, you can never be clear. You can never be clear. You will never know which way is forward, which way is backwards. One of the biggest things we have working against us as Africans is we don't have our identity anymore. Our identity was taken away from us very long ago. So we don't know what our traditions are. We don't know what our religious faith is. We don't know anything about ourselves. A lot of these things were just disrupted. And we struggle with clarity. That's why we don't know how to govern ourselves anymore. We don't know what good governance is. We don't know how to treat ourselves because we have no sense of identity. So I'm going to tell you about 3 steps to clarity. And for every step, there is what I will call a demon. Something that works against you getting clarity, that wants to keep you in confusion. So for every step I'm going to mention here, I'll talk about that demon in quote that works against you, that is not happy with you having come to that level of clarity and will do everything for you not to move on. So the first level of gaining clarity is dissatisfaction. Dissatisfaction is the first step in gaining clarity. The first step is dissatisfaction. You see, a lot of people don't know dissatisfaction is a tool towards clarity. So we try to evade it. We try to evade it. Dissatisfaction. What normally happens when you want to start gaining clarity is you become uncomfortable. Something begins to irritate you about a particular thing, a particular expression, a particular environment, a particular group of people. You just become unsatisfied with them. You become unsatisfied, you become irritated by them, it becomes annoying, especially when it comes to job. When you are working, one of the first things is you don't like the job anymore. You hate going there every morning. You don't like the people. You don't like your desk. You don't like the view from your window. You don't like your boss. Dissatisfaction. You just don't like something about it. Something just begins to irk you. That's the first step in clarity. That thing begins to irk you, and you're like, you just want to leave it. You want to get up and go. You want to leave that place. You want to leave. You become dissatisfied. There's something about you. Even if other people are like, everything is okay now, you just feel everything is not okay. I just don't like it. I can't explain it. I just don't like it. I don't feel like I like this thing anymore. It might be an activity you've been doing for a while. It might even be graphic design, might be photography. You've loved it for a while, but after a while you're like, I don't like this process anymore. If I'm going to be honest with myself, I don't like it. I don't like it. I remember, after doing design for a while, I got to that point because when I started doing design, my mind was I would do design till I was 70. But some years ago, I just realized I hated sitting down and putting on the laptop. I just started to dislike it. I have to be honest with myself. When I see a strange number, I'll just be saying to myself, I hope it's not a client, or I hope it's not a client, I hope it's not a client, I hope it's not a client. Even when I needed money. I just didn't like that process. Before I started doing logo design, I was doing everything. I did web, motion, layout, but web was my biggest cash cow because web was new in Nigeria then. So I was having people left and right calling to come and design their websites. Then I started getting some dissatisfaction with it. I just didn't like it. I hated launching that thing called Dreamweaver. Then I just didn't like the way it looked. I didn't like anything about it anymore. So when people call me, I'll be like, I hope this person is not calling me for a web job. I was dissatisfied. And some of you are at that stage right now. You're dissatisfied. The satisfaction is there. That job you're going to, the satisfaction is there. It's the first step in clarity. It's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. We look at it as a bad thing, but it's a good thing. It is your soul telling you something has to change. The thing about dissatisfaction is it never goes away once it has come in. It will never go away. Once your eyes are open to something that you are dissatisfied about, it can never close again. So you have two options: to change something or to live with it. But a lot of people make this mistake when they are dissatisfied. They're like, maybe it will change with time, maybe it's just a phase. So they stay in the job, maybe I just keep doing it, maybe things just change by the end of the year, maybe I just start liking the place to never change. Once you're dissatisfied, it never changes. It's one thing that's always set, never changes. People that are dissatisfied today, give them 50 years in the same position, they are still dissatisfied. You have to change something or choose to live with it. It's a terrible thing to live with. It's a terrible thing to live with. But a lot of people make that decision to live with it. Just believe it will change. It will change. Never changes. It's there. It will haunt you for the rest of your life. You can't go back once you climb that stairs. Either you stay there or you move on. But staying there, it will never change. So dissatisfaction is the first step in clarity. You become dissatisfied. Even in relationships, the first step in just clarity of this relationship should go on or should not go on is just some dissatisfaction that just comes there. Nothing has really changed though, nothing. Just feel like, I'm not feeling this person anymore. I'm not feeling our conversation. I'm not feeling. A lot of people ignore that and go ahead and get married. Big problem. They don't believe, to change the time, maybe you want to get married to change. No, that's just dissatisfied. It's your soul trying to save you from going into a relationship you shouldn't go into. But I'll keep it within work for now. You're dissatisfied. Now, one thing that happens, as I said, I'll tell you the step to clarity, and I will tell you the demon of confusion that comes in when you're dissatisfied. When you're dissatisfied, there's something called reality that always comes in. Now, when I tell you about most of these things that I feel are demons in quotes that want to plant a seed of confusion, they always don't look like they have horns, and they always don't look bad. Reality doesn't sound like a bad thing, right? It sounds like a good thing. You understand? But it's always what comes when you realize I'm dissatisfied with my job. What will set in immediately to cause you confusion, to stop you from gaining that clarity, is reality. He will tell you, this job, and you don't like it, but you have to pay your rent, or your rent is real. That landlord is real. That food you have to eat, you have to pay for, is real. Then forget all these things you're talking about, you're dissatisfied. How will you cope with reality? You better just manage with this dissatisfaction. It's always the first thing that comes to stop you from moving into that clarity in that first level, reality. Most people that are dissatisfied and still stay reality. Reality is what comes. They're like, I don't like. When you ask them, do you like your job? I don't like my job now, but what can man do now? How should I eat now? I'll pay my rent. My rent will pay itself now. I have to buy clothes. I have to sponsor my younger ones to school. My father is sick. Reality. In quotes, that's what it's called. It's called is reality, but it can be called another thing: survival. The fear of survival. It always stops you. It seems real, but in truth, it's fake. But it always comes to you and say, look, I'm here, I'm real, man. If you try this thing, if you try to work on this, your dissatisfaction, forget story, man. You can't survive it. Even in relationships, like if you try breaking this relationship with this person, man, nobody who you want to, before you found this girl or you found this guy safe, you have to sweat. Who will you find again at your age? Don't find Jacko. Better just stay with it. That reality always comes in, but it's a lie. It seems true. It seems like it's trying to protect you, but it's trying to hinder you. And that's why you realize that, just check it out. People that stay in a job and they're like, I'm not dissatisfied, I'm dissatisfied, but then I have my rent, then I have my bills, then I have to eat, then I have to send money. Just check it out. They get fired. Do they die? No. They don't die. One way or the other, you realize 1 year later after they've been fired, call that person and say, how far? Oh my God, I'm okay. How are you doing? I'm managing. So you see that it's not really reality that you won't survive. You survive one way or the other. Nobody that you see quit their job, just say they just died because life just stopped supplying them everything. Everything they died, their family died. It doesn't happen. It's a fear of survival. But we always survive. We always survive. So when you have that dissatisfaction, you must lean into it. A lot of times you must lean into it. It's nagging. Another thing you know about dissatisfaction is God is so merciful. He's so merciful that he does something when you're dissatisfied and you're not acting. You know what God does? He makes it worse. He makes it worse and worse and worse. Because the truth is that your creator wants you to step into your true identity and he wants you to have clarity. So if he has to make you uncomfortable, it will intensify. So for any of you that have ever worked a job that you hated before, it starts with a slight irritation. Man, I don't like this job. Oh. I don't like the hours, but I'll manage and then to pay my bills. Then God will now increase the volume again. You realize that job that you hate, you now reduce your salary. Like if it wasn't bad enough that you hated the job, they will now reduce your salary. Because God is trying to make you move. Then you reduce your salary, you're like, okay, but I have to pay my bill and stuff like that. Then you know what? They just send you to one part of Nigeria that you don't want to go. Just send you there to go and start working. Because you need to get uncomfortable. Some people, they are so stubborn. No matter their fear is more than their discomfort. You understand? Because as God is increasing the level of dissatisfaction, the devil will be increasing the level of reality around you too. So you just say things will just keep happening. Just say, you remember you borrowed money from this ajo, you need to return the money. Oh. You understand? Remember this person just got sick. This person just got admission. Remember, just your younger sister just called you that she needs this. Someone just got married. Someone just did this. It's always a battle. But I'm telling you this right now, so that when it starts happening, you remember that one day. You remember one day. This is what Tola said. Oh, you know. So I'm just letting you in. When it starts happening, that is not reality. It's an illusion. Question that reality and lean into that discomfort some more. When you start getting that discomfort, you start saying, it's time to move. It's time to move. The second level or second step to clarity is leading. 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 Like to lead something. If you are courageous enough to say, this discomfort, you act on it and like, I don't like this place anymore. I got to leave. You see, the problem with discomfort, a lot of people wait for the solution to come first before they leave. So I talk with so many people. I hate my job, but I can't leave till I get a better one. That's not how life works. You leave and then you get a better one. You cannot see something with something obstructing you. You only see things partly by the side. You can never see it till you remove that obstruction. It's always like that. A lot of people, the reason why they stay with dissatisfaction is because they want a guarantee of what comes next. And that's very, very hard to find. Almost impossible. You see, there's a character in the Bible, Moses. A lot of us are familiar with Moses in the Bible. You understand? Moses is a character in the Bible, and he was said to lead the children of Israel out of Egypt. He's a classic character that shows this arc of clarity and confusion. Because his life started out that way too. He was raised in the palace. You understand? By some divine will. He was raised in Pharaoh's palace. But then, right in the palace there, he felt discomfort. He was like, I shouldn't be here. I don't like it here. I don't think I should be here. And everybody around was like, why? Why? In the palace, man, you're like heir to the king. You understand? You're a prince. You got everything. Everybody's waiting on you. But you're like, I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable. But he said that he had that challenge too of survival. So even when he wanted to lean into, I need to leave this place. I need to help these people who are my people. He tried to do it secretly. That's why when he killed a guard, he buried him so that Pharaoh would not know. He wasn't audacious about it because he still wanted to keep some identity in the palace. You understand? He knew that if Pharaoh knew, they would kick me out. I don't know what's going to happen. So he wanted to save his people from the palace, from the comfort of his palace, which a lot of us want to do. We want to keep the satisfaction and just say, when I have, because you could like, if I go out on my own, I would lose the safety of the palace. So let me do it from here. So a lot of you stay in jobs you shouldn't stay in and try to follow your passion from there. Try to find your identity from a place that messes with your identity. Never gonna happen. Never. You need to step out. You must step out. And when you step out, something happens. It's called leading. Immediately you step out and you're like, I don't know what holds, but I can't stay in this place that I'm dissatisfied with anymore. I need to move away. Once you have the courage to move away, in spite of reality, something starts to happen after a while. Leading starts to come. You start getting ideas and start seeing the world in a different way. Start seeing opportunities that you never saw before. Start getting inspiration that you never had before. You start getting inclination about things to do that you've never had before. So right now you're no longer dissatisfied, but you're now in a place whereby you're now like, man, I actually love drawing. Oh. This might being in the house and not doing anything. I just tried to draw one day and I like drawing. I never knew I liked drawing. It just comes to you. You just have a leading to draw. Maybe one day you just sit there and you're like, let me just draw something. And you just start drawing. I'm like, oh, I love drawing. Oh. I can't wait to do it again tomorrow. Just realize that you start getting leadings, promptings to do certain things. It always happens. Because then you move to the next level of clarity. Leading starts coming. In fact, some things are not even leading that you try to do yourself. It's leading that other people start to say about you. So like, man, I never knew you could sing that well. Oh. Someone just tells you, just keep telling you, you're a good singer. Oh. Do you understand? Because where you're coming from, you never used to sing. But now when you're in a place where it seems like you're in the desert, you do some things and people start leading you. You start getting leadings and promptings and encouragements to do things in certain ways. And like, wow, I never knew that I had a passion or a tendency towards this thing. Those leadings always come. God always sends leadings after you've climbed that step of dissatisfaction. And you're like, okay, I'm satisfied with this. I have to act on it. Once you have the courage to look reality in the face and say, even though I have this thing that is staring at me right now, I'm going to keep moving. You begin to have the courage that comes from leading. So when Moses left Egypt, he was in a limbo for a while. He was like, who am I? Am I a slave? Am I a fugitive? Am I a prince? Am I a shepherd? You understand? All those things started to happen. But then he started meeting people. And I think the first person he met was Jethro's daughter, and Jethro let him in and gave him employment. You see, he was meant to be a destitute. But when Jethro met him, he was like, this guy, he fought for my daughters. Let him come and work for me. Opportunities, some small opportunities start to come. You see, sometimes we ignore small opportunities. When you take that step and the small things start to happen, let's say you leave your job now and like, man, I don't know what, but I just don't like this job. And then you go and do something and you are just in a limbo. You understand? You don't know what to do next. and someone just comes and just offers you something, it doesn't pay as much as the job you're coming from. It's a small thing. It might even be a part-time job or a one-day job, but they just give it to you. And like, man, this shouldn't have happened. Why they give it to me? It's a leading. A lot of times we ignore leadings. Someone tells you, man, I just love the way you dress. So I like the way you put yourself together. Like, I don't see people just are able to assemble clothes like you. Those are leadings, because in your heart you're like, I never knew I liked this dressing up. I never knew I liked putting clothes together. Those small leadings, very important, very important, because those leadings begin to increase with time, and then you're like, man, I really like doing this. I really like doing this thing. I really like this expression. I really like this space. I like this thing I'm doing. And then you begin to develop a passion. You can see that your identities begin to come out some more right now. When you get to that place of leading, those things start to increase and elevate. They begin to just intensify. People start to make more comments, and you yourself just find yourself doing it more. You stay up at night doing it. That's a leading. And when you have that leading, what it's telling you is to commit to it. Commit to that leading. But you see, when you have leading, there's also a demon that comes. Remember, you overcome the demon of reality and survival. That one has failed. When a demon comes, and this demon is called rationalization. Rationalization. You see, it doesn't sound bad, it sounds good. We are rational. That's what we are as human beings. You see, with leading, it's very instinctive. Leading just comes and you're like, I don't know, I just feel drawn to. You see, check a lot of people. The first time I did graphic design, I saw my friend doing it, and I was like, I think I can do this thing. I'd never done it before, but I just said, well, I think you can do this thing. I think you'll be good in this space. So a lot of people like that, they will just watch basketball and they say, I think I can do that. That's the leading. Just that I think I can do that. A lot of people start from that, I think I can do that. But you see, that rationalization just jumps in immediately. That stops you from following up with that instinct of thinking you can do. And you see, I'm a very animal-loving person. I've had 2 cats before, at different times, not at the same time. I absolutely love cats. I absolutely love cats because they amaze you every day. One thing I realize about cats is their power, is their ability to jump things that are like almost 5 times their height. And one thing I realized about them is that they don't stop too much to think. They just get there and just bam, just jump. It's just instinct, just jump. And before you know it, is on the ceiling. And I'm like, how did this thing get to the ceiling? They can be running or something, be chasing them, and immediately just jump. I saw one happen just in front of my house. A cat was being chased by something, and I just saw that immediately just jumped up. My wife told me that this thing just jumped from the ground to the ceiling of this house, to the roof of this house. Just jumped, and it didn't in less than a second. It just made that decision to jump. You see, something just told the cat, you can jump this. That's what all the cat needed. The instinct of I can jump this. It's time to jump. Jump. They don't question. If that cat hesitates for a few more seconds, I think, can I jump this? Will I jump this? They normally miss it. But their instincts tell them you can jump this. So, but we as human beings, our biggest problem is our instincts, our rationalization. Before we jump, we try to measure how high is this thing. Have I jumped before? I remember when I fell. That's those are the things that now stop us from jumping when we can jump. So rationalization. So when you find that thing that you love to do, that your instincts are telling you, commit more, do this thing more, investigate this thing more. The first thing your rationalization will say, is that what you studied in school? There are people out there that can do this thing more than you. You want to go and embarrass yourself, Abi? You have no experience, no certification in this thing. Do you know how long it took these other people that you are seeing to do it? Do you know how old you are? Rationalization. The demon of self-doubt always creeps in. And to be honest, when you rationalize, it's not foolishness. You understand? Those things are facts. You have no experience. You are too old. No certification. You could be embarrassed by failing. It's true. Do you understand? There are possibilities, factual possibilities. In fact, it can tell you, remember when you tried to do this thing in primary school that you had never done before and you broke your leg. Now you're not in primary school anymore. Do you still want to be breaking your leg? Remember how long you stayed in a cast? You understand that kind of thing? So it brings past facts. But the reality is that they are past facts. They are not present day facts. So that self-doubt is what makes people stop. Remember, a lot of people that go through that dissatisfaction stage and are able to surmount it, when they get to that leading, they always just freeze. They can't go beyond that because they rationalize. And rationalization is trying to make up the future in your mind where you are. Nobody has the ability to do that. So always just rationalize. How will people accept it? People can't accept it. They won't respect you. They will laugh at you. Rationalization, self-doubt. It stops us from getting clarity. It stops us from finding our true identity. The second level of clarity, second demon of confusion. So remember it. When next you've gone from that dissatisfaction, you've taken steps, and something now telling you you used to be a school teacher, and something is telling you work into an engineering company. You're like, oh, okay, I don't have no certificate, or they have a certificate immediately I get there. Why would they take me? They can't take me now. I don't have any portfolio. Why should they take me? I used to be a computer engineer, and they're telling me to go into a law firm and tell them I feel a leading towards doing law, the expression of law. They will never take me. So you count yourself out immediately for rational things. So that's the second level. So be conscious of that. It happens to every single one of us. Now the third thing and the final thing, the third step to clarity, if you can get over dissatisfaction and move to a place to following your leading and not be taken by self-doubt. Once you start following your leading and then you start doing this thing that you believe you've been led to do, what comes after that, after doing it? A lot of times, once you take that step, you now realize you were right. You can do this thing. And you start doing it and you're like, oh, thank God I took the chance to do this thing. You realize that, oh, it wasn't as difficult as I thought getting there. As a matter of fact, I'm actually shining in this area. Remember, I was talking about Moses, and his biggest leading was when he saw the burning bush. The bush was burning, but it wasn't being consumed. And God spoke to him. That was the biggest leading he had of what to do. You see, after that happens, when you get your leading, what always comes out, you know, I'll just try to make this analogy with Moses clearer because it just came to my mind now. When he got his leading, what was the first thing that he did? He self-doubt. He doubted himself. Immediately, God told him, this is what you are meant to be doing, to go and take the Israelites out of Egypt. What's the first thing he looked at? I am not qualified. I can't do this thing. I can't talk. They will reject me. They rejected me the first time and told me, who are you? Are you our leader? So he went to the past failure. And then he said he couldn't do it based on the past. Then he looked at his qualification. I can't talk. I'm not a good speaker. How will I go and do this thing that you're leading me to do? I can't speak. I really can't speak. So a lot of time when you get your leading, A lot of people are telling you stuff and saying, IK, I feel you should do this thing. Alex, you're showing a lot of potential in this area. And you yourself, you tell yourself within yourself, William, I really feel like I can do this. The first thing you start thinking is how you can't do it. But as I said, when you start doing it, you now realize, I can't do it. I can't do it. And you're doing it and you're making progress and you're doing it and you're enjoying it. This third stage has what I feel is the strongest demon. The third stage, the third step to clarity is expression. Selfless expression. Because when you start following your leading, you start doing those things that you are led to selflessly. A lot of times when we get the opportunity to do things we are led to, we give ourselves to it. I remember when I started doing design, I did it every day for anyone and everyone. As they called me, I was just doing. I was like, man, I really love this thing. Because remember, I studied architecture. For me to go and do graphic design was a hard decision. I was like, oh, this thing, architecture, man. Am I sure to do this thing? There is only printers that are doing it. But then I felt I can't do this thing now. And I was right, I could do it. And I was doing it well. And I was expressing myself. Selflessly expressing myself, doing it for everyone, anyone. The same thing with speaking. When I started speaking, first I thought, Tola, you can't speak. You have not been speaking for a long. You've not been speaking. You can't speak. When I started doing ProUp Masterclass, first thing I felt, I'm uncomfortable in front of the camera. I will try to record like this. I'll record like to say, hello, my name is Tola Labe. Welcome to ProUp Masterclass. What I say now every day very easily was so hard for me to do. I could do that thing like 12 times. And I will start at 12 midnight and I'll be done at 3 a.m. recording a 5-minute video. You understand? So, but then I was like, man, am I sure I'm meant to be doing this thing? Because I was failing. But then I started getting better at it. I started enjoying it. And I was just giving myself to doing it, making content and talking more. You see, one thing when you start doing what you're led to selflessly, a demon will come. And that demon is the demon of reward. It comes to you to stop you from doing that thing. You become consumed with what you are getting out of it or what you are not getting out of it. Because when you start expressing and you're expressing well, that demon tells you, are they paying you enough? See how good what you're doing is. They're not paying you. They're not appreciating you. See how they are still talking to you. You should get more. You should live where you are and be getting more from it. Let them pay. Let them pay heavily because you are so good. Is that demon of reward? It comes disguised as what we call ambition. There are so many people that stop doing those things that clarify their identity because they get swayed by how much it's bringing into them now. So they're comparing. Check out your mates, they're driving cars. Check out your mates, they build houses. What are you doing? You are just following this thing that you like. They're not even paying you well. People talk to you anyhow. You need reward. If they're not rewarding you, leave it. Not worth it. The people are not worth it. They don't appreciate it. These people, they don't appreciate what you are doing for them. I felt it. When I started working with graphic designers, committing myself to really helping graphic designers, man, it was a big struggle. It was a big struggle. Because I was thinking, these guys are not paying me. They're not paying me now. How am I answering their questions? They can't pay me. This guy is struggling with how to make 5K. I want people that can pay me 500K. And I'm giving my best advice to these people. Why? I should stop. Stop and go and pitch your tent with people that appreciate you. These guys, they don't appreciate you. They can't reward you. There's the ambition there. You're working with starters in the design industry. They can't pay you. So I became dissatisfied And I pushed it aside for a while. So I just say, you know what? I want to build this branding company for Fortune 500 companies. I need to start talking with CEOs, see my mates, and start talking with people that are running big companies, that kind of thing, going for executive meetings. Why am I staying with this graphic designer that is in Abeokuta somewhere? You understand? I started to think about remuneration and reward. I started to prioritize that, you understand, over my expression. And the more I started to do that, I started to get in the circle of clients that were paying me well, but then I wasn't appreciating the work I was doing. I wasn't liking it anymore. In fact, I started to feel small because you talk to some clients like this that just make you feel small. It mess with your identity. I say, I'll get somebody else, so I don't need to work with you. I can afford any other person. So if you're messing up, you can't deliver our job. One client to say that to me a lot. If you can't deliver, we'll get somebody else, Mr. Tola, please. We don't have time for this. I'm like, oh, sorry, I'll deliver. You understand? Started making me feel small. But they were paying the money. So the problem when we get to that selfless expression is that demon of reward that wants to get quick reward. It's called ambition now. It's don't you want a bigger office? Don't you want a bigger car? Don't you deserve to go on vacation abroad? That's what it tells you. So you begin to despise and you begin to look at things that you shouldn't look at and get discouraged instead of focusing on God who has sent you to do the thing. And it happened to Moses too, Once he became the leader and led them out, he started getting distracted by how they didn't appreciate how much he was doing for them. So these people, see how they are talking to me after all I've done for them. Rude people, wicked people. They don't get it. You understand? A lot of times he was missing it. He was getting angry with them. He was getting angry with the people. You understand? And that almost swayed him away. And a lot of times when we get to that selfless expression, it's very easy to think, is it making any sense? Is it making any sense? How much is it bringing in? So we begin to become ambitious. So we begin to pitch our tent in a place that we, with our eyes, can see will take us far. And that's when we begin to get in trouble because we make compromises and wrong associations and wrong deals and do the wrong jobs because we're not working selflessly anymore. Working selflessly is a beautiful thing. Seriously. This issue of trying to prioritize how we can get into people's pockets is a problem. It always puts us in the midst of the wrong crowd. And you never get clarity that way. You get more confused. That's why you see people, they might have well-paying jobs, but in their mind, they're still like, what's life about? What am I doing in my life? They still come back to that lack of clarity. So I'm telling you guys this today because you will all go through this. If you are going to find your identity and you're going to be clear, it will start with dissatisfaction. You need to lean into it. That dissatisfaction with where you are, with what it is, the people you are with what you are doing. There will be a dissatisfaction and irritation. You will not like it. That's the difference between dissatisfaction you feel during that dissatisfaction stage and the whispering of false dissatisfaction you feel during self-expression. The first stage, you actually don't like what you are doing. You can't lie to yourself. In that self-expression stage, you still love what you are doing, but then you are swayed by what you are getting. So you don't like what you are getting, but you like the expression. At that stage, that is when you persevere. So people might say, dissatisfaction. So I don't like how much I'm earning. So I'm satisfied. That means I should change. No. You understand? No, that's not it. It comes from the inside, you don't like the expression. I don't, if I'm honest with myself, I don't like this expression. Even if they change everything around, I still won't like the expression. But when you find something for which you like the expression, you commit to it. Don't let reward sway you. Reward always works itself out in the long run. All these things are tests, because at the end of the day, you realize you will come to a place where the reward will be coming. You won't even know, because your eyes are not on it. They'll just be in the periphery. The people that will tell you, man, see, you've gone from this to this, so and you take time and you look back and you actually realize that you've made progress. But it's not really your intention. It's not your driving force. Your driving force is the courage to do that which you really love. That which you really love. That which you are really convinced about. That's it. It's the same thing with relationships. You know, when you don't, in your heart, you don't love a person. In your heart, you know that, and this girl, man, I don't feel him at all, at all. This guy, I don't feel him at all. To be honest with myself, they ask me whether I love this person in a romantic. I don't love this person. I know I don't love this person. I'm only with this person because I'm fearful, number one, of breaking their heart. I'm fearful I won't get someone else. It's a different thing. It's a different thing from having somebody who, man, I love this person, no, but I don't like what she did right now to me. I don't like how she spoke to me now. I don't like what she has been doing, but I love her. I love him. I can't lie about that one. Those are two different scenarios. One you stay, one you move on from. That one you don't love from, it's not going to change. Don't let anybody deceive you. You go to that, it will not change. The person will change their hair, it won't change. The person will say, oh, the person is too skinny, the person will get fatter, you still will not like the person. But that other person, you stay long enough, you communicate with them, you commit yourself. When this change, you appreciate them more. But in the end, the love covers up for a lot of things. So, I have my wife. That's a lot of things my wife does that, man, I'll be like, what's this rubbish now? Make me so annoyed. Get so upset. Get on my last nerves. But deep inside, man, she's still my wife. I can't wait to get back to her. I can't wait for us to get back together. You understand? Even though she has annoyed me so much. And I'm sure it's the same way. I annoy her too. You understand? But then we can't deny the fact that we love each other. But sometimes what we get from it is not what we expect, but we grow into it. So if you're so fixated early on that what you're getting, remuneration, oh man, you'll be cutting yourself short. I'll show you the instance of my wife. When we got married, look, me and my wife is my best friend. That one, we dated for 7 years. You understand? Before we got married, dated for 7 years. So I know her, she knows me. But when we got married initially, there's some things she was having problems making. She was having problems making some things, and so there's some food like me. I liked amala. She didn't know how to make amala. Man, I was like, oh man. So she would call me to make the amala. I'll make it. My amala was doing better than her own. There's some things she couldn't make, like moi moi. I like moi moi. She couldn't really make it. You understand? So it wasn't really good. It was fall apart when she makes it. But do you know what? Now, because then I was thinking of what am I getting? What kind of this food? What am I getting from this marriage? When I'm not eating not like my mother's food. You understand? But then now, 12 years of marriage, man, I don't think anyone can cook food that can satisfy me like my wife's food. There's some food that I didn't used to eat at home before, but now the way my wife makes it, I'll eat it anytime. That amala that she couldn't make, she makes it better than any other person that I know right now. That moment that she makes, the children and I, we are always requesting it. Always. She has gotten better. I never used to eat pancakes. But now I beg my wife, make pancakes for me because she knew how to make it. So sometimes it's patience. That's patience. When you find what you love, you're expressing it, just give yourself to it. The reward will come. The reward will come. But sometimes we quit because we're not getting immediate reward. And then we miss out of those things that are being stored up for us in the future. So you see, watch out for these things: dissatisfaction, your leading, and selfless expression. Watch out, because they're going to be interrupted by reality, by rationalization, and by reward. But if you can overcome these things, you will find your true identity, and life will become sweeter. Life will become clearer. Life will become brighter. You would wake up each day, you would love waking up. When you breathe, you would love the air you're breathing. When you speak to people, your words will be impactful. Not because you've read books or anything, but because you are becoming more of a true spiritual being. And spirits don't speak rubbish. You understand? But the more you lose clarity, you become more of a fleshly being. And the flesh dies every single day, becoming weaker. So your words become weaker. What you want to find is your real spiritual identity. Once you find it, you give out an essence that attracts people, and attracts goodness, and attracts favor, and attracts every single good thing, even in an environment that seems stressful. You don't have to travel out to enjoy the world or to enjoy being alive. No, you don't have to go to Seychelles. You don't have to go to somewhere exotic. You can start enjoying it here, right now, in the midst hustle and bustle and pollution and corruption and insecurity of Nigeria. Just a different air around you because you found yourself. But it takes these steps in finding yourself. And remember, the devil doesn't want you to find yourself. So you must open your eyes to his lies and consciously don't take that bait. So I think we spent 1 hour, 6 o'clock by my time. But yeah, we have more people with us right now. But yeah, please take some time to listen to this again. I'll stop the recording right now, but I want you to ask questions on the group because I don't want this to get too long. Ask questions on the group. If you're not comfortable asking on the group, ask personally. I would love to have more conversations with people on clarity and confusion, whatever stage you are. You understand? A lot of times, some of you just need encouragement to go to the next stage. But if you have questions, please type it on the group, send a voice note. Let's have more discussions about it. Um, but yeah, I just felt it was important for us to discuss this today. And I really hope you've gotten some value from this. Remember, you get more value the more you listen to it and the more you think about it. So thank you guys for taking out the time to be part of this call. I would record. I'll end the recording right now and make it available on in the library of resources. I also put on my podcast. But then, if you have questions, please let's ask the questions on the group, and we can have a longer discussion on this. All right, thank you, Samuel. Thank you, Mario. Thank you, Dami. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, William. Thank you, Simi. IK. Thank you, Victor, Bright, Timmy, Jerry. It's been a while. Good to have you, and Tom. All right, guys. Have a great evening.